In a quiet moment filled with introspection and wonder, a mysterious call reverberated through the ages, drawing a man named Jonah into an extraordinary journey. The scene is set against the serene backdrop of an ancient sunrise over the hills of Israel, where the promise of a new day mingled with the stillness of nature. In that early light, Jonah, a seemingly ordinary man, was struck by a divine summons that shook the very foundation of his existence. It was as if the colors of the sky had whispered a secret, urging him toward a destiny that he both feared and resented. The call had come in a booming tone, resonating with power and authority that left no room for hesitation. The voice of God, commanding and resolute, instructed Jonah to walk a troublesome path, to journey to the notorious city of Nineveh, and announce a message of warning and transformation. Nineveh, infamous for its cruelty and decadence, stood as a symbol of moral decay, and Jonah's heart, brimming with personal indignation, could not accept the notion of extending mercy to such a place. Deep within, he wrestled with conflicting emotions. On one hand, there was the undeniable call of the divine, and on the other, a stubborn pride and resentment. In that conflicted moment, Jonah chose to ignore the call, opting instead to flee in search of safety, far away from his divine mission. Determined to escape his destiny, Jonah made his way to the bustling port of Joppa. There, amidst the sounds of creaking ships and lively chatter of seafarers, he hurriedly purchased passage for a voyage towards Tarshish, a destination that lay in the opposite direction from the divine command. As the vessel set sail towards unknown horizons, Jonah's heart initially found solace in his disobedience, as though the relentless waves and open water could wash away the responsibility that had been thrust upon him. Yet the sea would soon become a formidable mirror of his inner turmoil. No sooner had Jonah embarked on his escape than the heavens darkened and the storm unleashed its fury upon the ship. The once calm sea transformed into a furious battleground, where howling winds and towering waves clashed with the vessel in a spectacle of nature's might. The ship, now caught in the grip of a tempest, became a stage for fear and desperation as the sailors scrambled to regain control. In the midst of the chaos, Jonah, who had sought refuge in sleep, was abruptly awakened by the urgency of the situation. His presence on board was revealed to be the cause of the mounting calamity, and the weight of responsibility pressed down upon him like the crashing waves around. Realizing that the relentless storm was not a random act of nature, but a consequence of his own defiant actions, Jonah experienced a moment of profound reckoning. His heart, which had once been filled with rebellious certainty, sank with the realization that running from one's calling only invites further peril. In an act of both sacrifice and wisdom, Jonah consented to bear the consequences of his disobedience. His decision manifested in the form of a desperate act. He allowed himself to be cast overboard into the turbulent sea, hoping that his surrender might calm the raging waters below. In that transformative moment, the storm abruptly subsided, leaving behind an eerie silence that spoke volumes about the consequences of evading one's destiny. Yet what could have easily ended in oblivion instead heralded the beginning of a new chapter in Jonah's life. As he sank into the dark, cold embrace of the deep ocean, an extraordinary event occurred that defied all natural expectations. A mighty, divinely orchestrated creature, a great fish, emerged from the watery abyss. In a twist of fate that seemed to bridge the realms of life and death, the fish enveloped Jonah in its vast, mysterious body. For 3 long days and nights, Jonah found himself secluded within the creature's belly, enveloped by an almost palpable darkness that forced him to confront the full weight of his isolation and errors. Within that confined space, with only the rhythm of his heartbeat for company, Jonah's thoughts turned inward. He reflected upon his choices and considered the mercy and power that had guided his life. In the depths of his despair, a renewed sense of hope and humility emerged, and Jonah's heart opened to the possibility of redemption. When the time came, the great fish, acting upon the divine will, released Jonah back onto solid ground, marking the end of his period of exile and the beginning of his renewed purpose. Now, Jonah's journey led him back to the divine call. Despite his earlier reluctance and personal grievances, he stepped forward to fulfill his destiny by entering the vast city of Nineveh. His message, once marred by hesitation and anger, now bore the weight of heartfelt repentance and the promise of divine mercy. The people of Nineveh, from the humblest commoner to the mighty ruler, responded with sincere transformation. Their collective act of penitence, marked by fasting, wearing sackcloth, and humbling their spirits, demonstrated the power of redemption and the boundless nature of compassion. In the final unfolding of his journey, Jonah found himself pondering the lessons that had been etched into his heart. Though he had once struggled to extend his mercy to a people he deemed unworthy, the story revealed a timeless truth. Divine mercy transcends human judgment. The path of forgiveness and transformation is open to all who are willing to listen, even when our pride or fear tempts us to run away. The legacy of Jonah's journey stands as an enduring reminder that no matter how deep the darkness, there is always a light waiting to guide us home.